and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the FV215B183, otherwise known as the Death Star. Those of you that don't know this tank as the Death Star, where the hell have you been living for the past 9 years or so? But it's one of my most played, if not, I think it's actually my most played tank ever. Which is funny because nowadays it's not a fantastic tank. It can be fun, of course. It is the highest alpha gun in the game, especially using Hesh. Obviously, Hesh has the high pen and it does high amount of damage. You could do upwards of 1625 damage per shot. But also with that, it is one of the most targeted tanks in the game. So yeah, and if you miss a shot, it could be game over. Like now, if this T-54 was to have pushed the Death Star after that miss, then it is pretty much game over for the Death Star. And that's the thing. So many people back in the day were complaining that this tank is broken. It's stupid having that much alpha. The DPM is quite low. Well, it's not bad for what it is, but people just look at the alpha, you know, 1600. You can change an outcome of a game with one shot. One Hesh shot, probably like this shot here, 1286. He could have, you know, he could have gone toe-to-toes with this T62. But no, with one Hesh, it is game over for that guy. But you've got to put your tank in the right position to make this tank work. Now, is he going to get a blind shot there on that IS-8? We have to stay tuned and find out if he did actually get that shot. So, yeah, if you're playing at the back of the map, you know, then that is pretty much the best place. And as you can see, he did get the shot into the IS-8 and another low roll there. He should have actually took him out, but that was a bit of a low roll. The way I like to personally play the Death Star is like this guy's doing here, like this guy has done in this Death Star on this map. So usually on a map like this, you would expect the Death Star to be in a corner. You'd expect it to be in a corner, but he's gone and done something that what the enemy won't expect. And that is what I like doing in the Death Star. Be in places that people won't expect you to be in. If I'm getting on dead rail and I go to the middle and there is an unspotted Death Star, I'm automatically going to think he's going to be in one of the corners, depending on what side you spawn. But I like I said, I like to be unpredictable in my Death Star. If of course, if you have the opportunity to. If you just sit in a certain place and you've got no shots, then you're not putting that massive gun to use. That was a very nice bounce there from the Sheridan, and unfortunately for that guy, he got stuck by the rock and it is game over for him. But like I said, like, be unpredictable. Don't be predictable in a Death Star, because if you are in a position that people expect you to be in, then you could just get wrecked. You can actually be torn apart. And if you miss a shot, obviously if you get shots like this, 1300 damage, it goes a long way, because now that Death Star is a one shot. But yeah, that's how I like to play. Now, the Death Star is one of the most targeted tanks in the game. If there is a Death Star spotted along with a few other tanks, then people will automatically go for the Death Star, because it is a game changer. Now, where people was calling for this tank to be removed, like, honestly, people were calling for this tank to be completely removed, like it was in, what, PC, I believe it was removed. Yeah, but honestly, it's not an OP tank at all. Back in the day, it used to be a lot better, because you used to be able to sit at the back of the map and just never be spotted. If you were sat at the back of the map, you wouldn't be spotted. The camo values was just insane. They really were insane. Nowadays, you can't really do that. Obviously, people still do. And you definitely need to camp one way or another. Depending on where you camp is up to you. But yeah, you definitely need to camp somewhere. But yeah, just don't be predictable in the tank. Then you will perform a lot better. Like if you're going to go play frontline, then yeah, you're going to scare the enemy. Yeah, you might get one shot off, whether it's a HESH shot or AP shell. It all depends on what tank comes available. But yeah, don't be predictable. You know, if you are going to play at frontline, make sure you have a lot of cover. That was a nice shot. That was a very nice shot. Yeah, make sure you have a lot of cover, because like I said, if there is 4 of you that have all been spotted all in a row, you're the one that are going to get shot. Unless it's someone that's greedy. So if you're sat next to a grill, for example, then people might go for the grill because it is a lot juicier target, and they're going to be doing a lot more alpha into that grill. But by rights, people should be going for the DEATHSTAR because it has that that HESH, that 1600 shot, well, potential 1600 shot. It really is a game changer. There's not many tanks out there. Of course, you've got the Jagdpanzer E100 that does over 800 per shot, but there isn't much tanks out there. And in tier 10, other than things like KV2s, SU-152s, you know, smashers, there isn't much out there that can change an outcome of a game just with one shot. Honestly, if it's a 2 versus 2, 2 versus 2, you're up against 2 heavies that is full hit points, you're in a DEATHSTAR that is full hit points, and you're up against, and you're with a medium tank. Obviously, chances are that you're not going to win in that situation if there's 2 heavies that are on full hit points. But if you manage to get behind that heavy or to the side of that heavy and you could do 1600 damage, that can change the outcome. You know, that can change whether it's a win or a loss, because then you might get shot, the medium can then go and attack that guy, and it could just be the complete difference between a win and a loss. But it can be the most fun tank to play. It can be, like those with high alphas, you know, the smashers, etc. They can be the most fun tanks in the game to play, but equally, they could also be the most frustrated. Now, those of you that see the top 5 tanks, I mean, again, what a lovely shot that was. And that was 1400 damage. That guy was on 2000 hit points, and now all of a sudden he's 500. So, 2000 hit points, he can take 3-4 shots from an E100, but now he can own, that's it. He's taken that shot from the DEATHSTAR. He's now a 1-shot to an E100, for example. And again here, the STRV, no, is he going to go for this guy? And yet now that guy is a 1-shot. So yeah, it can be the difference. And when a situation like now where it's a 5 versus 4, look, he's got that guy down to a 1-shot. He's got this guy down to a 1-shot. And it's just made it a lot easier for that green team. And if he can get a shot on this STRV as well, and Juicy HE is not looking, hello STRV, obviously the aim times etc are really low. I'll take that shot, thank you. Yeah, you can shoot me, because in return I'm going to do a very nice 1200 damage. So yeah, it could be the most fun tank, it could also be the most frustrated tank, because you can aim and then you'll miss. And it's frustrating because you've got a 20-second reload. So that's a long time, especially if you're being chased down by a medium tank or a light tank or a heavy tank with decent DPM. 1 shot is sometimes all you're going to be able to do. So yeah, it's definitely a fun tank. People do not perform well in this tank. Those of you that have seen my top 5 videos of the worst performing tanks, this has been the worst performing tank for a very long time. Hello T62, let's just shoot a little bit of HE and we get a max roll. And look, that guy was full hit points. Now look, he can't even take a shot from a medium. So that is what this tank is capable of doing. And if you're on 7k damage and you've never hit 8k damage before, it just can take 1 shot. Very nice play there from our guy Goosey. 8.8k damage. Let me know what your thoughts are on the DEATHSTAR. Like I said, it is my most played tank. I don't play it now because it's frustrating, but also it could be a laugh and it could be very enjoyable. Let me know your thoughts on the DEATHSTAR, the FV215B183 in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsyreplays and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With